Okay, how's that? For some reason, my sound device inside StreamYard, or inside, not StreamYard, inside Streamlabs OBS was disselected from the main audio. No idea why, sorry about that. So anyway, I was saying hello and welcome. It is a beautiful, if not cold and wet Sunday here in Texas. And I figured I'd play some Shadow of Colossus, and apologies to Anti-Trekker. I know you're live right now if you see this later, but this is nap time right now for my kiddo. So gotta stream when you have the time. So I don't want this right in my face. All right, let's get this going here. And hi, Thomas Potts, how are you doing? Thanks for letting me know I was muted. Also, my darling wife Amy, thank you for letting me know I was muted. Hey, Cinnabon Bunny, how you doing? Just jumping on while I have the time, and I might I do have StreamYard set up, so I might go ahead and switch this in a minute to let everyone jump in and chat. But we'll see how much time I actually get here. So what I did do is, between the last time I played and this time, I went around to the different shrines, and that's what the green things are, and I collected those annoying lizards that gave me more stamina. And I also went around, and if you go to certain trees, you'll find fruit in them. Shoot them with your bow and arrow, and you get more life. So I went and did kind of the boring stuff offline, because, I mean, let's face it, I play the game, and even I find it kind of boring when you sit there and have to shoot the trees and shoot the lizards. Like, it's just not a fun part of the game. So I did all that, so we can get straight into the good stuff, which one of the things I really enjoy about this game is just how much of an open world it is. The whole point is, each time something new comes up, you take your sword and you shine a light, and you gotta go to where the light is. But actually finding the path to that light, you go exploring through this huge overworld map. And one of the interesting things about this game is the fact that it really pushed the PS2 to its limits when they first made it. Like, running this on default hardware, the game would lag and stutter like no one's business. So the fact that I got this up and running on my emulator, and I tweaked a few settings since last time also, so that I should get a much, much more smooth playing environment. And Thomas Potts is saying, I hate Bot Janeway, and Cinnabon is saying Bot Flat Earther was kicking his butt, which, for those who don't know, I do have a CSGO server that the people in here, we jump on and we play. And Thomas, I'm sorry for bailing on you last night. My daughter woke up, so I had to leave the game and go take care of her, which, man, that was a rough time. She was up from midnight to about 1, and then I was in her room basically sleeping on the floor until 2:30, just because she would not calm down. I don't know what's going on with her last night, but I totally left Thomas Potts high and dry in the middle of the game. So hopefully my bot that took over, helped you out a little bit. Yeah, Janeway can survive multiple hits, and she gets you with one shot, Thomas. So this is a weird thing about the CSGO server that I found. And I know this is the right spot. I just gotta trigger the... oh, there he is. So I found with the CSGO server, the bots have like a difficulty range, and finding... Like finding where that balance is, I've yet to do. Right now, I think I have it configured to go from painfully easy to painfully hard, but only within the beginner level. Like, we have yet to leave beginner difficulty. That's kind of sad and hurts to say, but it is unfortunately true. But I mean, we are a bunch of beginners, so trying to figure out how to get that really tweaked in right, I've yet to figure out. But as a result, I do think that it increases and decreases their health. So the better we do, not only do they get more accurate with their shots, but I think it also gives them some more health. I'm pretty sure with this boss I gotta hide under here. He'll duck down and I can start climbing his earrings. And let's see, Thomas Pod is saying, where did that one terrorist go in that place we spawned at the same place? No idea. They just... Oh, actually, okay, so there's a level called Nuke. And what would happen is the B spot was actually directly underneath the A spot. So there's one guy and he was hiding in B, and so I kept running around trying to find him in A. And so on the map, you know, it's just a 2D representation, and I could not get that to work right. I thought he was supposed to bend down. Let's try jumping out somewhere else. Instead of saying, yeah, some bots can take a full magazine at point blank, then turn around and one-shot you. Okay, so honestly, it does really, really annoy me when I'm sitting there and I'm, you know, trying to do good shots, and then like I'm far away, so I got my scoped rifle, and out of nowhere, they with like a machine gun one-shot me in the head. And I'm like, come on, guys. I know we're supposed to increase the difficulty level, but I would like to keep it at a somewhat reasonable thing. Like, at some point it needs to be authentic. Like, I know people get real good at these games. I think I'm making the wrong choice with this attack method. Yeah, that's not working. So I know in real life people get really good at these games. But I don't think there's anyone who, with an AK-47, can one-shot me in the head from just the opposite side of the map. And maybe a lucky shot. There might be a lucky shot in there. But generally, someone just sitting there is not going to one-shot you from the other side of the map, no matter how good they get. Like, there comes to a point where you've gone beyond skill into just luck. And I don't enjoy the fact that on that sliding difficulty level, we do have something so cheap going on. Okay, come on. I need to get this guy to bend down and look at me. Maybe if I shoot him in the eye. I just gotta get far enough away so he doesn't stomp me while I do this. Oh, I did not get far enough away at all. Yikes. It's because I'm a lousy shot. They put these mounds here. I know that somehow I need to use these mounds to defeat him. I don't remember what the trick is. And that is one of the really good things about this game. You know, one, it is fun that every single enemy you fight is just a boss fight. There is no like just mob people. It is all boss fights, and I really enjoy that about this game. But I also really like that they went way out of their way to do good game design, where they give hints about how each boss is supposed to be defeated. Like on that last level, it was up on top of this dais in the middle of a lake. And if you're paying attention, you would have noticed that in the center of the dais there was a single stone circle. And so the trick for the game was to get him to swing his sword to hit the middle of that stone circle. And I like the fact just that once you did that, that's when you could actually start fighting this boss. And then the one before it was the bison, and so you saw that there was something weird about his feet, and once you shot his feet with the arrow, he would bend over, and then you could start climbing him and start the level of fighting the boss. So I really enjoy, well, I mean, one, the graphics is just, for the time, amazing. Okay, look, now he's all looking in there, so I need to run up behind him and grab on. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm supposed to do here. If I can just do this before he notices me and whiff it. Let's try this again. Wow. Wow. I did mention this is one of my favorite games, right? You can tell by how great I am at it. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier on me. I did go around, and by getting the lizards, it increases your max stamina, which is that pink circle that decreases as I hold on to him. And by getting the fruit, it increases your max health. So hopefully from here on out, it won't take me quite as long. Oop. Okay. Because I have more stamina to hold on with and more health to take beatings with. Okay. That will get him to what? Because this is a weak spot, but it isn't one of the glowy bits. This is supposed to get him to do something else. The glowy bits all have like a sigil on them. Like the ones that actually do major damage. There we go. That just got him to bend his head down so I could get to the glow. And see, the more stamina I have also, the longer I can let this charge up and do more damage per strike. One of the hard things about this game is when you get past this main part, you get into the hard mode. The hard mode is hard, no doubt about that. But also, it's like you start doing timed races. Like you have to defeat the boss within so much time, and by doing it, it gives you special things. Like if you beat the final boss within a certain amount of time, which is just a brutal task, then they give you some exploding arrows, and you can actually whittle away their health with these exploding arrows. Okay. I love the way the music sounds sad. Like you beat the boss, and instead of it being triumphant music, it's sad music. Like you've done messed up, son. Hey, Captain Trek, how you doing? I saw you had a stream earlier. Was it last night or this morning that you were doing your stream? Tell you what, this is a good spot as any. I am gonna go and jump over to Streamlabs, and we'll let this be some this fun hangout time. Why not? So I'll get that into live chat. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. This is copyrighted. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. There we go. Okay, save's complete. I put the link to StreamYards for anyone who wants to jump in, and then I'm going to share my screen and share the audio so that people can hear it. What? I was hoping it would do full screen there. Not sure why it's only doing a window. Oh, there we go, like that. I was in a button saying he'll join me in a few. Excellent, very good. Yeah, and if I don't see you right away, just give me a wave here in live chat, and I'll be sure to open up, get you into the stream. But yeah, I love the fact that the music, you beat the boss, and it's melancholy. It's like, this is a bad thing going on right now. Whereas usually you would expect like the Final Fantasy fanfare, you know? The do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, thy next foe. It casts a colossal shadow across a misty lake. As it soars through the sky, to reach it is no easy task. So they have a couple different boss types. You have the giant gargantuan ones, which, let's see, that was the first one I thought was a bipedal one, and then the second one I thought was a quadruped. And then the third one... What was the third one, guys? Oh, the third one was another bipedal one. and then this one was a quadruped again. So now we're going to get to the third type, and that is the flying type. And then I think there's only one more type, and that is that's the small type. And the small types are actually some of the funnest fights within this game. Because with the big ones, they're slow, not going to do too much damage to you. Well, I mean, if they hit you, it's going to do a lot of damage. But they're all slow. Like, there's not much going on there. But the smaller ones, it really makes you move and work for it. Less thinking, more running, so you don't die horribly. So I'm curious, how is everyone doing with the quarantine life right now? I was asking on Facebook the other day. So I don't know how many of y'all are Christians in the chat, but I am, and I certainly have made it no secret here that I am. Which I don't think anyone should need to make it a secret what their faith is. I'm certainly don't ever want to offend people, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you what I believe, and I'm going to be respectful about it, but if you get offended from basic beliefs, you know, that's not really my baggage to worry about. So anyway, I mentioned on Facebook the other day that as the command to shelter in place goes on, there's an instruction in the Bible that we as believers are to come together as a body of believer and worship God together and minister to one another and care for the needs of each other. And I do think that it has been important to take a minute to kind of evaluate what the spread of this virus is going to be, how it's going to work long term. But as this goes on longer and longer, it does make me wonder at what point we begin to be in sin. That if the Bible tells us that we are not to hole up and hide forever, as the Bible puts it, we are not to forsake the assembling of ourselves together, at what point do we cross into the territory where we are forsaking the assembling of ourselves together? And one of the things that made me sad is I asked this question. Oh, I missed a fruit. So these are the sort of trees you gotta look for in this game. It leans over like this, and then there'll be some fruit on it, and maybe some trees surrounding it. Cinnabon, I thought you were Buddhist this whole time. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you. So anyway, I asked this question, and the thing that made me sad was the fact that the people who responded, by far and large, weren't even willing to consider the question. I said, hey, at what point do we cross over into sin? At what point are we allowing the government to keep us from freely assembling, as the Bible has told us to? And no one was willing to consider that. They said, well, this is for the greater good. This is for the greater safety. And I certainly see the wisdom in that. And I'm certainly not trying to say there shouldn't be any of that. I think each person does need to evaluate where they are for their health, for the safety of their family and stuff like that. But I do wonder for the rest of us, like, it's something that as a Christian we do need to be considering. And the fact that no one was willing to consider this was, kind of sad to me. It reminds me a lot also that I've talked in the past, not on my streams, but like in people in person. And I do prefer to keep this in person because I think this is the sort of thing when you talk about it online, no one listens, everyone talks sort of thing. But so I would talk to people about pro-choice versus pro-life. And the main question, people say on the pro-choice side, like, we don't know if this is a living person, which to me, if I don't know if something is a living person or not, it'd be wiser to err on the side of caution. But I say, okay, so define when this becomes a living person. If that's your stance, I'm just curious, when is this a living life? And very few people would have the courage to actually state their beliefs and say, well, at this point, this is when the distinction happens. It was always, I don't know, who can say, and no one would actually address the question. There's almost fear to address the question. See, I need to dive. How do I get my guy to dive? And it was sad to see Christians kind of using the same basic idea that, well, who can say? And not being willing to address the question. Okay, that makes me go up. That's obvious. I can go... Can I only swim? I know I can swim deep in here. I'm just doing it wrong. Okay. Come on, brain. I don't like you and you don't like me, but we gotta do this together. Okay, that just makes me swim in a vertical line. That's not great. That makes me jump up. Okay, this is maddening. I used to be able to do this. Hold on. Did my daughter already wake up? No, it's a canned message. A spam message, if you will. Thomas, I thought he worshipped Satan. Yeah, no. I'm feeling like quite the idiot right now that I can't remember how to swim down in this game. Okay, I've tried R1 and all that does is make me swim just under the surface of the water. L1, L2, nothing. Triangle makes me jump. And so I know you can swim under the water in this game because there is one more type of beast that I forgot about, and that is the underwater beast. I think there's like at least one of those, if not two. And you have to grab on. You gotta swim underwater to get to them. At least I thought you did. Let me try and find a hole. Maybe I gotta jump over this. Hey, Captain Trek, how you doing today?
Doing okay, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Just enjoying a peaceful Sunday.
Peaceful and quiet. What's what are you playing?
Oh yeah, so this is called Shadow of the Colossus. It's an old PlayStation 2 game that they eventually remade for the PlayStation 4.
Cool.
Which I don't have a PS4, so I'm playing the older PS2 game.
Oh, you don't have a couple of PS4s lying around?
No. In fact, the newest thing I have is the Xbox 360, I think. I want to say the 360 came out after the PS2.
I believe so.
That just goes to show how much I'm really out of it on console systems.
Well, you're usually out of it anyhow, so sorry.
I thought I'd gotten the lag issue fixed up. There we go. Now we're gonna take to the skies. One of the other fun things I've been doing right now is I've been going through my PlayStation collection and just game collections in general and seeing what it takes to actually run them on an emulator. I found an old PlayStation game I had called Lifeline, which it was an interesting idea. Instead of controlling the character with the controller, you would actually have a USB mic and you'd tell her what to do. Like shoot, dodge, stuff like that, like inspect the table. And I thought about playing that on here, but I decided it'd be really boring for me to always be having to stop whatever I was doing and talking about, just be like, okay, shoot the head, shoot the stomach, shoot the red eye.
It also kind of killed conversation too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at least with this, we can still talk. It's not like I'm really gonna lose that much thinking ability to have a conversation.
I'll be nice.
You can talk as much as you want. Like, this is literally something where if I have to think, I'm just gonna stop talking, and I won't be bothered by anyone who wants to chit chat.
Well, I meant I'd be nice, but never mind. Never mind. I want to have a day that I'm not a smartass constantly.
I like how you qualify that with the word constantly.
Yes.
Hey, Manos fan, how you doing today? Yeah, so anyone who wants to, by the way, the StreamYard link is just a little bit higher up in the chat. And the nice thing about it is you don't have to install anything. You can run it on your smartphone, you can run it on a computer. It's just, you click it and it'll do all the work for you.
It's so easy. Life with meth, you could do it.
That's right. And I'm pretty sure I've been called a boomer by multiple people.
Absolutely.
The Menace fan is saying, I'm alright, you've picked an interesting game. I love this game. And, you know, one of the things I enjoy is I like picking games with y'all that I've never played before, because then we, like, get to figure it out together, instead of me just playing a game I play through a lot. But I made an exception in this case, because I love Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of my favorite PS2 games. And I was going to play Ico, but I kind of realized that before I play Ico, I need to do Shadow of the Colossus. Okay, I cannot jump up and grab that tail. That was my first plan, and it's been like a decade easily since I played this game, and that makes this interesting because then, I mean, I know in general how to do these bosses, but I've forgotten the details. Like right now, I'm pretty sure I've done the completely wrong thing. In fact, I know I have. Let's see where. I think I have to like stand on some platform and get the bird to charge at me. So now we get to enjoy me swimming through this lake.
Cool. At least I don't have to do it.
Yeah, and you know that water is probably frigid. I want to say that we are not in the summertime in this game.
No doubt.
I mean, the fact that there's fruit that I can pick, I'd say we're leaning more toward like harvest time. And we're in a mountain lake anyway, so you know that water is like just above freezing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got caught in some basically freezing rain yesterday.
Ooh.
I went on a bike ride, and like surely I can finish. I can finish this game, or I can finish this bike ride before it starts raining, because you know it kept threatening all day, gonna rain. So I'm I don't know, about 10, 15 minutes away from home, heading back, and all of a sudden I hear the thunder start, and then the rain starts, and so I'm on the phone with my wife. I'm like, look, next thunderclap I hear, I'm going to sit down in someone's porch, random person's porch, hope they don't come at me with a gun or something. Come at me with Febreze and hand sanitizer. But I made it home safely. It was just, by the time I got home, I was soaked. I wear these like biker gloves type things.
Yes.
Just have little pads on the hands so you don't wear through your palms.
Right.
But it didn't have anything on the fingertips, so I mean, my hands were just frozen by the time I got home. It was tremendous fun. Okay. Let's see if I can provoke him. Yeah, there we go. Here he comes. And then I jump. Oop, missed it. Missed it completely. Menace Fan is saying, if you enjoyed this game, there's another interesting PS2 game you might like called Robot Alchemic Drive, which is also very fun to play. Check it out sometime. I will. I'll see if I can't find it on eBay or, you know, there's really no game shops around here. Where's that bird? He's gonna get. There he is.
Yeah, it's too bad you don't know anybody who does retro gaming.
Yeah.
Or anybody that sells anything on eBay.
Just totally slipping my mind. Whoever that might be.
I only have 2 people in mind.
Nope. I'm not ringing any bells. I feel like I'm. What was the character's name in Men in Black? Or not the character's, but the actor's name. The one who kept telling the guy to eat him.
Oh.
Tommy Lee Jones. I feel like I'm Tommy Lee Jones right now. Like,
what is that?
Oh, just trying to get this bird to charge at me. Okay, I think he's coming in. So the trick is I gotta jump and then grab onto his wings. I just gotta time it right. There we go. And now the music changes to the adventure music. Let's see. I think therefore I am wrong. The husband's mantra. I think what I need to grab is like at the end of his tail. Oh crap. One of the things I like about this game is the music design and the fact that it goes from like adventuring music to real calm and peaceful music depending on if you are trying to figure out how to get onto this thing or if you're on him trying to stab the glowy bits. Okay, I think there was one at the front, yeah. So a lot of these guys have 2 glowy bit areas that you have to get. 2 or more even. I hate it when I forget to get the one at the front and then have to redo something like this. Captain, how did your stream go? Was it earlier or last night?
I did one yesterday, yeah. That was pretty long, actually. I was actually in the stream for 3.5 hours and ended up talking to a couple of people that were on the panel for another half hour.
After the stream had ended?
Yeah.
Wait for him to glide. There we go. Nope, not there. There we go. Okay. Oh. Darn it. Sometimes Wanderer is a bit of an idiot. I mean, I guess you could say that's like he's always an idiot. He's trying to get a sealed deity to resurrect the girl he liked. I mean, usually sealed deities aren't known for being the nicest people.
Well, that's good to know.
I mean, have you ever known, like, someone like, hey, there's this really cool deity. He does nothing but, like, grant people's wishes. We're gonna seal him up.
No.
Oh, darn it. Oh, double, darn it. Okay, whew. I thought I was going to land on the ground and die. The one bit of ground. I didn't see like that. The music changes from the adventure to like just this peaceful, calm music. Where'd he go? There he is. Oh hey, Bird of Prey 5 is here.
Kapla.
Kapla, Bird of Prey
Kapla.
5. How are you doing?
Not bad. I got bored of listening to the spaghetti monster.
Which one is that today?
I don't know. Somebody just keeps anti-trackers going off about the flying spaghetti monster.
Hey Cinnabon, how are you today?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Which one is that today?
I don't know. Somebody just keeps anti-trackers going off about. Oh, is that me?
That's you.
Really?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I'll mute myself.
I'm sorry, that was me. I muted the wrong one.
Oh.
Done that before too.
Hey, I didn't get to watch it, Cinnabon, but I saw your stream title today, trying to set up a virtual something.
Yeah, I was gonna build a virtual set in Blender.
How's that going?
It's not too bad. I just got started, but I thought it'd be more fun to have people hanging out with me while I did it, since it's kind of boring just modeling by yourself. And that way I get input from other people too, or it would be cool to be inside of it. And I figured maybe eventually, once it's all done, I can plug it into the game engine, and that way we can actually walk through it.
Now, have you done Blender stuff in the past?
Yeah, I used to all the time just for fun, and I helped out a couple people with a couple projects too, a long time ago. But yeah, it's been almost. I think the last version I used was like Blender 1.5, so now that they completely changed the interface, I've had to relearn the entire system program again.
So you shoot this thing with arrows and it comes and picks you up?
Yeah, and then you have to find its weaknesses. Oh, I have become error. Well, I just remembered an important physics lesson. When you jump on a moving object, air resistance will affect you.
Yes.
I mean, I continue to move at a at the same relative speed. It's just yeah, drag.
Drag, and also it could have changed its, you know, the way it was moving.
Yeah. It zigged, I zagged. But yeah, I mean, it's a real fun game. The whole premise is you need to defeat these monsters because doing it will unseal this thing called Dormir. And allegedly Dormir is going to totally help you out by resurrecting this girl you liked who was some sacrifice.
I don't understand why it picks you up rather than just kills you, though, for shooting arrows at it.
I was trying to. Like, if I don't jump, it will ram right through me and take up a huge chunk of health. But when I jump at the right time, I'm able to grab onto these mossy patches. And, you know, it doesn't exactly have a hand to swap me with, so I'm safe for the moment. As safe as you can be clinging on to a giant beast.
I thought Bird was in chat, not in the game.
Are you talking about a giant beast?
I mean,
Correct.
I am in chat, but
Sorry, I'm just in a smart-ass mood today.
And one of the nice things is I went around and I did some boring stuff to increase health and stamina. So I'm able to do more damage per hit against these beasts. So there's a lot of things that this would take longer, but I've streamlined the process for y'all. Because I care. I also need to start having people say at the end of the stream, like down in the comments section, what game you're finding fun. Like, hey, you want to see more of me connecting lines? Let's play The Witness again. Man, I was far away from. There we go. Or
That bird just kill you?
no. So whenever you defeat it, it like these black lines come out of it, and then you fall unconscious and wake back up in the temple. And Dormir tells you where to find the next beast to kill. Oh shoot! I keep forgetting. If you do this right, you can save after each boss you beat, and then go back and play any one you want. But I always forget. And then each time you kill another one, there's a new shadowy figure standing over you, and one of the statues breaks.
Have you played that Monster Hunter game?
I haven't.
Haven't either.
See, when I bought my PS2, I bought it for $20 at a like thrift shop kind of place, and it was broken. And I found out it was wrong, fixed it up, and that's how I got my PS2. So I'm really against paying hundreds of dollars for game systems and games.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, go ahead, voice. Tell me where the next one is. My next foe is a giant lurks underneath the temple. I was hoping it'd be one of the small ones. It lusts for destruction, but a fool it is not. So you can start to see now that I think I've beaten like almost half of them now. Is that number 5? So not quite half. But you can see like I'm starting to get really my clothing is starting to get like really tattered and stuff and frayed at the edges. And that just goes on the longer this happens. Oh crap, I'm touching my face. But yeah, that way if like someone, like if I'm playing games that people aren't really enjoying, that's not fun for y'all. I was thinking about after this one, have y'all ever played the game Eternal Darkness?
Yeah.
I was thinking
used to
about,
love that game.
yeah, I was thinking about busting that game out. Because I've been reading a comic called Lock and Key. Netflix just made a TV series on it. And it's very much the Lovecraftian kind of horror comic. And it really got me wanting to play Eternal Darkness again.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that's really good, so I was going to check it out since I have Netflix.
It is really good. And it's interesting because even though it's 10 episodes, it doesn't feel like it has the same pacing issues as another 10 episode series we all just watched.
Right.
think I need to turn down my resolution a little bit. I think I have my computer doing one too many things.
What, are you like Bird now and having 800 tabs open?
Just about. There we go. So yeah, I mean, so the way I have this running right now, I have my Canon EOS program running, so I can use the Canon camera as a webcam. I have one instance of OBS running to create a virtual cam, a second instance of OBS running because I like the way it looks better, and then StreamYard. So it's starting to chug a little bit here. Like even that, I feel like it's kind of lagging still. One of the things I like about using an emulator to play my games is that I can do upscaling, and I feel like it typically comes out looking nicer than like using a third-party device that you plug your things into and they try to upscale it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell Rock Solid I said that. He thinks emulators are the devil. Even though he totally plays an emulator on his Switch and Switch Lite all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, Gary. Don't come hating. So we're about to... there's been words that we're about to drop a you're not allowed to go outside without masks policy. Holy crap, that's bad.
Yeah, what Tennessee just got theirs yesterday. I'm glad we don't have that here yet, but I'm sure if all the other states start doing it, then we'll have to start doing it here too.
See, I don't like that. I mean, if I'm just going to walk out on my front porch, why should I have to have a mask on? Well, nobody's going to be within 100 feet of me.
Right.
Dang.
Well, it's also weird too when you see people driving around with their mask on. It's like you're in the car by yourself. That was the point.
Hold on.
Well, the thing is, it's uncommon here, but in places like Japan, it's quite common to go around all the time with a mask on. Particularly this time of year.
I did a lot too when I was there, but like when I was in a car by myself, I took it off, or in a room by myself, I took it off.
Yes, use this one. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to it kind of does some throttling. I'm trying to make sure I don't have anything throttled right now. There we go.
Now, let's see here. You said you had 2 instances of OBS running. One,
Yeah, why two?
Yeah, why? Because you said you had one, but then you had one you liked better. Why not just have the one you like better?
So, vanilla OBS, it allows you to use a thing called virtual cam, which lets me take my regular screen, like what you see here, and output whatever I have on that OBS as a virtual camera.
I gotcha.
And the better version of OBS does not have that feature. which is weird. It's basically the same program, but for whatever reason, it does not let you control that. I don't get it. It's a mystery to me. We're going to try not to die here, but I am going to jump off this cliff. Stuck the landing.
Yeah.
So that's why I wish I could just use Streamlabs OBS and output a virtual cam. And that's one of the annoying things about using the Canon camera is I'm not able to just naturally use it as a webcam. I have to have some sort of capture device running in order to set that up. I could have an HDMI hooked up to it. An HDMI capture card, but then I'm dropping like $200 or something just to get a HDMI input that then I have to capture the window.
Right.
So I have to have something like an OBS that can do a screen or window capture to get that set up as a webcam.
You could look for it on sale.
Well, yeah, it's just there's nothing that will let me, like, I've yet to find anything that will let me take the output straight from the Canon camera, which I can do HDMI or USB, and then have the computer recognize that natively as a webcam. But I really like the way that the Canon camera, like it does, like using the default like a webcam. It works, it's just, I always felt like I was really whitewashed out. It made me look like I was a night walker, is that what they're called? Super pale guys. Hey, Shromore.
You mean like a zombie? Hey, Shromore.
Yeah. Or a Norwegian. I looked deathly pale. Where it says, I mean, I'm still quite pale. It's just I'm not as whitewashed out as I was with my webcam. And Thomas is asking, question, I don't have a mask. None are in stores, and I can't do arts and crafts. What should I do? Well, Thomas, you can. I've literally seen people say this. Go to Etsy, ETSY, and search for homemade masks. And you can have a random stranger who may or may not have COVID make a mask for you. And then they will mail it, at which point it will be handled by like 20 different mail carriers who may or may not have COVID. And it will eventually arrive at your home some 3 weeks later.
Thomas, do you have some fabric softener sheets? You could just tape some of those to your face. And they would make your skin really soft too, probably. Or give you a chemical burn, one of the two.
I like those odds. That bird of prey, just get nylon stockings like a bank robber. Is your mic not working? You can totally just...
God damn, why am I typing when I forgot? I forgot to connect it. The static
funny.
wipes also make your lungs nice and take the static electricity out of your lungs. That's a problem. Buildup. Static buildup of the lungs. It's not recognized by science, but it's
That
true.
complicates the COVID virus too if you get it. So you want to get rid of that.
You see,
static.
COVID, you get the positive ions. So you need the negative ions from your a Bounty or a Downy sheet. Puts everything back in balance. This is totally legit medical information.
That's what I heard. I think Alexander was streaming about that earlier.
Man, the new information just never stops. It was like a week ago, people were saying that you only have to worry about a 2-meter radius and it only lasts for 2 minutes. And then they've recently come out, like I think this week, and they're like, you know what? It's actually more like 72 hours that it could live on surfaces, depending on the surface type. Like 72 hours is kind of the max on a porous surface, and 24 to 48 on a hard surface that isn't porous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, that is an amazingly huge difference between expected lifetimes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only expected. I mean, there you get the rare cases where it could last longer. So you can't really ever be sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched a YouTube video this morning that was pretty convincing that it's all a hoax. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that I really wish I could drive around and see what was going on in actual hospitals.
So, I remember this is going to be a hot topic here. When you know how there's an anti-vax movement.
Yeah.
I am not an anti-vaxxer. Anti-vaxxers would say that I am not one of them. However, anti-vaxxers would also say I'm not one of them, and both camps try to lump me in with the other camp. I think that we should do delayed vaccines. Like, not every disease is as prevalent in modern times, and we should stagger them out so we're not giving... I think there's... if you go by the CDC's official recommendations, there's a shot combination you get where you get 3 physical shots in one sitting, and they have about 6 to 8 different vaccines in them. And there's been no clinical study trials on how these shots interact with one another. Each shot is only considered independently.
Yes.
So I'm of the mindset like, hey, maybe we should do some more trials on this. I want to see good science testing. I don't believe in any of the genetic things people think about it. I don't go there. I just think that we should do some more trial. And so
Sounds like an anti-vaxxer to me.
Exactly.
Actually, no. Because I hold the same stance. I think we're giving too many vaccines at one time.
So we got 2 anti-vaxxers.
I'm forgiving vaccines, just not all at once.
I think we should just give them all at once. One giant shot.
One mega vaccine.
Yeah, a huge needle. Shove it right in their back.
But see,
into the spinal fluid.
That's right.
I do believe in doing all the vaccines. I just think that the rate that we're doing them hasn't had enough clinical trial testing.
While they're still a fetus. So you have to stab through the mother, too.
Oh, there are shots that are like that.
So you're telling me that I'm actually agreeing with Matthew. Oh my gosh.
I know. Count on
We need
one.
to get a vaccine that's so powerful babies are born vaccinated.
But they're allergic to their mothers. Oh my god.
Hey, there actually is a condition where your baby could be allergic to the mom.
Is it really?
Yeah, depending on blood types. My wife was a negative blood type.
Oh, that's bad.
And so
the positive blood type baby.
Yeah, then you can have rejection. So after my first child was born, and he was negative, thankfully. He's O negative, so he can give to everybody.
But you can only get from O negatives.
Yeah. But after that, my second born was a positive blood type, and so she had to do a special injection so there wouldn't be any rejection. Which, I am extremely thankful for modern medicine and all that stuff. I just think that it should be more delayed out. Now, I say that, going off on a rabbit trail here, because when it comes to the COVID stuff, it's the same sort of thing for me. I think it's overblown, but I don't think it's nothing either.
Correct.
Right.
That I do think that when you look at where I was going with all the vaccination stuff, I asked a nurse once, like, what are the side effects of this vaccine? And that nurse with a straight face looked at me and said, there's no side effects. There's no risks. There's nothing. I'm like, oh my goodness. You are a medical professional. I get that you are trying to combat the insanity of people who say, like, this is going to give your kids autism. I get that you're trying to combat that. But when you give outright bad information, all it does is decrease the validity of your own authority.
Yeah.
And
Even sugar pills have side effects.
They do.
Somebody reported a dry mouth. I know it.
Yeah, and John DeMarco, there are always side effects. That's exactly it. And so with COVID, when I look at things and I find out that the doctors are, if someone, my wife shares these stories with me because she's on Facebook all the time and finds out this information, and I stay off Facebook most of the time. But she was telling me that right now, if someone had died in a car accident, they actually test and see if they have COVID antibodies in their system. And if the antibodies are there, they said, well, they had COVID, therefore they died from COVID. Same with suicides.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying a couple days ago, is that I'm sure that no matter who dies, as long as they detect COVID inside them, they're going to include that in the death numbers, which is disappointing.
Yeah. And they're doing the same thing also with if you're in the hospital and you have 3-4 different diseases going on, then they are saying you died from COVID. It's like, well, what about the other 4 diseases that was in this guy? You think they had any contribution?
Right.
And that's something where they found that 88% of COVID cases were misreported, basically, that they actually died from other issues. Darn it. And I feel like that's really undermining their own position.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that unfortunately it's going to take about 10 years after it's done before we get real numbers on it.
I mean, if in a year or two we look back and we see that, okay, COVID killed however many people, but every other, death dropped by 50%. We have half the deaths from lung cancer, half the deaths from heart disease, half the deaths from diabetes. We're going to say, well, something happened. It's pretty obvious then we'll know what happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did the math, and it's one of those things where if it turned out that, 88%, which is just an absurd number, but if we just got rid of 88% of COVID cases, saying that, no, you didn't die from COVID, then that would drop the mortality rate of COVID to 1%, basically. Which I think that's being over generous. Of the 88% that did have like multiple issues, I think COVID was probably the final straw on them. But still, I mean, a 1% is a much, much better number than the, what are they saying, 5%? 10% in Italy.
3.9. So 4% pretty much. Well, that was yesterday, so probably is 5 now. Let's see, worldwide, yeah, for fatality rate 6%.
It's also tough because I get the feeling that number is what it is in large parts because of testing methodology.
Yeah.
Where we don't have enough tests to go around, and so everyone with a weak case is staying in sheltering.
Oh, I'm sure.
And everyone who's at death's door anyway are the ones going into the hospital.
Yeah, the U.S. is still only at 3% fatality rate. Only. Well, that sounds so bad to say. Well, we're only at 3%.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying.
Let's see, Europe's at 8, Asia's at 4. I don't trust China's numbers. Africa says 5%. Latin America's up to 4. Canada's 2%. Should invade Canada. Or Oceania or Australia. Those two only have 1%.
Oh, darn it.
Speaking of nations, I made a nation states the other night, and 24 hours into the game, my national animal was almost extinct.
How does that game work?
It's just a browser game where you just pick legislative issues, and apparently bad things constantly happen.
Did y'all ever play World of Warcraft back in the day?
I tried to, but I was terrible at it, so I didn't play for very long.
So apparently they had a like there's this one zone that they made that like it introduced some bloodborne disease thing. And man, I am sucking at this. And the idea was any object from this area would slowly make you lose health. Like you'd start bleeding out. But once you left the area, the curse would go away. Well, someone found a way to get the disease out of the area. And like it started to just kill everyone. And the most interesting thing about it was the CDC used this to track or to model the spread of disease in real life. Because what they found is that some people would intentionally go out of their way to spread the sickness to other people.
Oh, right, I heard about that, yeah. There was a huge thing about that. There were like millions of people that got infected like within seconds of the game or something.
Yeah. And it made me wonder if there were any people in real life with COVID who, once they found out they got it, like...
There's gotta be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sure. There gotta be a bunch of assholes out there.
Some people just like to watch the world bleed, world burn. No, grab it, grab it! Oh, man.
There's probably even more, though, that have it and feel like they're too important to stop doing whatever they're doing. And they're not doing it on purpose, but they just don't give a shit. And are going out about their lives. There's probably more of them than people intentionally spreading it, but in either case, it's still the same result.
Yeah. Wanderer, help a brother out. There we go.
Okay. Looks like the koalas have found a new home, and they're not gonna die.
What koalas?
That's my national animal, the koala.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Not the bunny?
I know, it would be too obvious, so they picked their arch enemy, the koala.
Is that really their arch enemy?
It is now.
See,
I believed it too.
yeah, I know, right? I'm like, well, Cinnabon knows a lot about bunnies. I had no idea. I would have gone for the fox, but okay.
Those damn koalas.
In Australia, everything wants to kill you. Each time I stab them, I always think of the line from... Well, I guess more people know it from First Contact, but from Moby Dick, you know, from Hell's Heart I stab at thee. And had his breast been a cannon, he would have shot his heart upon the mighty white hump. which just sounds dirty, but you know, that's classic literature for you.
It was dirty. But who cares? It's classic.
That was the porn that Parental Discretion grew up with.
Man, come on, one stab. That's all I need. There we go. Let's see. The Stromer is saying the beer virus is a contributing factor. It is in itself probably not the sole cause in most cases. And that's one of those things, like, I don't think we'll ever be able to completely know if, like, okay, 88% had other contributing factors. Were they factors that A, would have eventually killed them in the short term, or B, would have done nothing? Like COVID was the sole cause for why this went down.
Yeah.
And there's just, it's unfortunate, but there's no way to really know.
No.
On Discord, someone's saying that they had a friend whose dad died from COVID, but he also had pneumonia already, pre-existing to COVID, and leukemia. Yeah. So it's like, you know, was COVID the thing that knocked him off?
No.
Or, well, you know, it might have been. Like, he might have been able to recover from the pneumonia. He might have lived for another several years with leukemia. I don't know the guy well enough to know if he was already at death's door. I certainly feel sympathetic toward people in that situation. But it is one of those things where it's like, what was the final straw?
Well, I believe it was a factor. But I think they need to distinguish what was an underlying factor versus what was the actual cause.
Yeah. And Stromer is saying, Thomas, I fully agree with you. Most people have probably been exposed and are immune or have very few symptoms. And that's one of the hardest issues, I'd say, with this, is setting aside the people who do die with it in their systems and which way is that actually affecting them. Like, setting all that aside. Then there's the question of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wonder if as I kill each new statue, if I get a new bird here also. So there's 6. We'll have to look to see if there's 7 after I beat this next guy. Shoot, I totally lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, so since everyone's not being tested, it's like, what if it turned out that the infection rate was a lot higher than we realized, and most people got off scot-free from this? And there's just zero way to ever know.
Right. And hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. Unless you go the South Korean route where you track people's cell phone and start reporting to everyone the location of your citizens who have possibly been exposed.
Did you see that New York Times map that came out the other day that they were showing all the cell phones that were moving around more than 2 miles?
Oh my goodness. No, I hadn't seen that. Here in America.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous that they have that much access to cell phone data. For at least the newspaper. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, see, I accept the fact my cell phone carrier has that kind of information passively, like as long as it's blind data, because then they can figure out, you know, what area needs a new cell tower, what area is being overtaxed, stuff like that. But the fact that they would share that data with with anyone, like even the government, I don't think the government needs to know what sort of stuff is going on with the cell phone movements, let alone a newspaper. See, Thomas is saying, in my part of Pennsylvania, which I assume that's what PA is, there are 1,089 cases. 87 are in the hospital, and our local news says they are overwhelmed. From 87 people in the hospital.
Yeah, we've got like 60. They were saying there were 60 serious cases, but there were only like, I think they only said like there were 20 actually in ICU, and there were reports that our hospitals were overwhelmed all of a sudden too. So
See, that's the thing that makes me wonder, like, how much. That is literally one of the things that like undermines their own position. Shoot, I'm in the wrong spot.
right.
Like, I would understand if there were hundreds of people, then like all the hospitals would be overwhelmed, sure. But 87 extra people? That sounds like something where you go, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of going to First United Methodist, you should be going to the Presbyterian one right next door. And Strumware saying there were a few people arrested in France for intentionally spreading the virus after they tested positive. Wow. That is insane.
According to our state live update, we're at 935 cases. And let's see, 29 deaths. 106 in the hospital, 48 in intensive care. So you wouldn't think that would be overwhelming our hospital system here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't work in a hospital, so I'm not gonna say too much about that. You know, someone's gonna come on, you son of a bitch. My so-and-so is a nurse. You're an idiot.
See,
I could be.
That's the thing. I have sympathy for case by case people, like, you know, little Timmy next door gets it and dies. I have sympathy for that.
Yeah.
I also am a mathematician type person, and so I go, yeah, and that's called anecdotal evidence. You can't base an entire system around anecdotal evidence. You have to take it as a sanitized, heartless statistical look.
Right. Well, there was a headline the other day that was like, "Oh, the first child died of corona or something." That I saw. Oh, might have been a couple days old. It was in my news feed, and I just hadn't looked at it for a while. But I was just like, "That's just why? Why would you even need to make that? I mean, did anyone really think that no kid would ever die from this?"
Yeah. And frankly, the fact that it's been going on this long and we've just had our first child death, like, I'm extremely thankful for that.
Right.
That this isn't targeting young kids. Like, I'm extremely happy about that. And I must dislike the classics. That's why he hates First Contact so much. That must be it, John. See, Tiki's saying it seems like the real problem was how they have modeled hospitals after Toyota's just-in-time system. That's why they're not able to handle the influx. I hadn't realized that's how it was modeled after. That's interesting. So in where I live, we're behind. Somehow we're behind. Like, I live right next to an international airport, and yet my city only had like just under 300 cases, total cases, whereas Dallas has like 900, which still isn't that bad, all things considered.
Right.
Let's see. I mean, maybe Texans are just staying and sheltering more. Maybe we're more spread out, so it's less like dangerous or less capable of spreading. 'Cause, I mean, I certainly know that what was it? You know, places like New York where there's more of a... I'd say there's like more of a family mindset in New York than Texas. And by family, I mean like, hey, here's 4 generations and we get together, you know, every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Texas, I mean, I got a brother at the south end of Texas. I got a brother way north up in Illinois, and I mean, I got a sister who's not but a couple blocks away, but like that's the closest family member I have. We're more spread out. Even when we didn't have the threat of COVID, we didn't really like hang out all the time.
Yeah, I see my sister maybe once or twice a year. She only lives maybe 15 minutes away.
Huh. Okay, I need to avoid the shiny, sparkly bits. Yeah, Tiki. Anecdotal evidence gets results, though. That's true. They create the buzzworthy clickbait article. I mean, that's what newspaper has kind of derailed itself into, clickbait.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Well, I mean, they kind of had you since, you know, the reporting is 12 hours old by the time you get it.
Yeah. Swim away from the electricity. Darn it. It's hard to get lined up for this guy. I see Schroeder is saying, I think that some are intentionally overhyping things to make people take more precautions. It's not as bad as they say because they don't want it to get that bad. Maybe. I still view that kind of intentional overhype as morally wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think that the end justifies the means in this scenario. That we want to keep people away, so we're going to say it's 50 times worse than what it is, to the point that you have people literally afraid to open their front windows lest someone on the street nearby gives them COVID, like that Simone lady was worried about. I was on Anti-Trekker's stream the other day. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, since I shut off my cable, I don't see nearly as much news anymore, but it just seems like some of the coverage is starting to just get to the point where they're more hyping it just so that later on they can say, look how bad our terrible our medical system was. We must dump more money into it and take it over.
Yeah. John DeMarco, just keep swimming. Somehow I need to get close enough to stab the important bits, but not so close that I get electrocuted. And Trummer is saying, did we all tweet Anti-Trekker to wish him a happy first contact day? I did not. I didn't realize that it was first contact day. Apparently, a few on DJ's stream tweeted him yesterday because someone mistook the date and no one confirmed. Serious nerd cred lost. Did that work? That worked. Awesome. Oh. Nuts. Darn it, I did the wrong thing. Oh, darn it. There we go. So I'm able to destroy his electricity sails or something by stabbing at that little point. Oh, the punk. He's gonna make me let go. Tiki Doom. I never got around to playing this game, but it still looks great. Tiki Doom, this game is great. It is tremendously fun. I'm almost sad that you're seeing how to beat the bosses if this is a game you ever do want to play in the future. Because so much of this game is the fun of each boss having a unique gimmick you have to do in order to beat him. But hey, you got PS2, you can get this game dirt cheap probably. I mean, it is a pretty popular game, so maybe it's not that cheap. See, it's hard because like there's so many games nowadays where it's hard to tell if we aren't getting like to the point where they're expensive again.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so old. Or if we're still at that sweet spot where they're like old enough to not be super expensive, but not so old that they're classics. Hey, Captain. Give me just a second. Once this guy surfaces and I don't have to hold on, I'll let you back into the chat. Hey, Captain.
Hey. No, my computer decided, oh, I need to shut down now.
So one of the interesting things in my line of work is, we deal with these industrial programmable logic controllers. And then to communicate with them, you have to use special top-end software called a human-machine interface. And so one of these like extremely popular HMI programs, it will be devastated by Windows updates. Like just out of nowhere, you will lose everything because your computer did an automatic Windows update. Like just last week, I was helping out a client who their computer did an update, and whoops, Wonderware lost all the information. As in, I wonder where my data went. Anyone from Wonderware who watches this, don't hate. I love your product still, but I do rivet.
I don't.
Oh, do you know Wonderware?
I've used some, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Are you able to talk about what you used it on?
No.
Fair enough. I get that.
But, let's just say, my experience wasn't, ideal.
Sure. And one of the hard things about these SCADA packages, which is what HMI is part of, is that they are easily 10 years behind the rest of the IT world. So I'll be talking to clients and they'll be like, well, we just hook up the magic blue cable and there's Ethernet and everything works fine. Like, look, it's not like that with SCADA. Yeah, it does Ethernet, but a lot of these PLCs, they have a reduced network stack. It's just not great. And so you get a lot of problems. Like until recently, I couldn't set up gateway addresses for a lot of PLC equipment. It just wasn't an option. You could put in your IP and your subnet, and that was it. Thankfully, they are getting slowly caught up. And if you get one of the main brands like a Rockwell or Schneider Electric, I think even Siemens, you're more or less guaranteed that you'll be fine. It's really, really old. And usually when I come into a situation, I'm dealing with some HMI that's already a decade old, And so everyone hates it no matter what, because it needs to be upgraded. Okay, let's find out if there's 7 birds sitting here, and then I need to wrap this up because my daughter's nap is undoubtedly about to end. But hey, anyone who's on the stream, you want to see more Shadow of the Colossus, let me know in the comments below. You want to see more of The Witness? That was the line puzzle game, which I've been playing that one offline by myself, which I'm glad I did because I got to this part of the puzzle game where I had to take a screenshot of the puzzle and then in Paint, like, make tons of notes. Like, each puzzle takes a half hour to solve. So I don't think that one would be super fun, but if you want this kind of format where we have a panel of us just chit-chatting, then I'll keep doing it. Like, I'll do that for The Witness. You want to see more Shadow of the Colossus, let me know. Or if you want me to jump genres and head over to do some Eternal Darkness, we can get a couple games into the mix here. Eternal Darkness, it is a Lovecraftian horror-ish game. It's not like really, really bad, disgusting horror, but it's enough, like, if you play this game in the dark, it will mess with you, man. I played it for the first time in my freshman year of college, and I'd only played it at nighttime, and it's a game that will get you after a while. One of the fun things about Lovecraftian horror is that one of the main premises is that you slowly go insane from these ancient horrors sapping your mind dry, basically. Look at that. There are 7 doves. And so in the game, you can slowly start to go insane. So each time I kill one of these guardians, a new black, creepy ink creature surrounds me, and a new dove surrounds the girl. So let me know in the comments below, what do you want me to do next? If no one writes anything, I'm just going to keep doing some Shadow of the Colossus. And until the next time, take it easy, guys. And thanks to everyone on the panel for joining me today.
Have a good day, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video.
Always in.
If you liked it, please share it. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that bell icon to be kept up to date with all the new videos that I release on this channel. And as always, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.